Today I'll be talking about the Honeywell voice solutions in the warehouses and distribution centers. Okay, before jumping directly into the Honeywell voice solution, I would first like to give you an introduction about the challenges and the problems that every customer can face in their warehouses or their distribution centers. With the rise of the industry, the challenges become more and more on the distribution center side. The increasing costs, the cost of the labor. Imagine a worker can come and work, and then on the other day he quits, and think about the training cost you will require when you hire a new worker and he needs to be trained again and again, and the process will slow down because your new worker is still not well trained. Another problem we can think about is the reverse logistics. And by the reverse logistics, I mean the cost of returning your items in case they are faulty items. Or imagine you have a retail store, and on daily basis, you need to order the missing items from your retail to be delivered to you from the warehouse. Imagine you are in your retail store and you receive wrong items other than the items you have already ordered. So imagine the cost of this reverse logistics to return the wrong items to the warehouse and bring again the correct items to your retail. So mentioning the previous challenges, we can think now that the warehouses and the distribution centers world is changing, the demand is increasing, expectations from the end customer is rising and rising. Let's think about the example of the online shopping. I believe everyone here, of course, you are all doing online shopping. And maybe 10 years ago, it wasn't as the status it reached today. Maybe 10 years ago, when you used to do online shopping, maybe it used to tell you 15 working days or 10 working days till the item reach you at home. But again, 5 years ago, it became maybe they tell you 5 working days till the items reach you. Now you are expecting that the item should reach you within 24 hours, for example. Like, you will not accept what they used to provide 10 years ago. You will not accept that the item will reach you, will be delivered in 15 working days, for example. So the demand of the end customer is rising and rising. So we need to come up with a solution that first manages very good accuracy. We cannot afford reverse logistics. We cannot afford wrong items. And second, productivity. The customer needs their product on the same day. You have to be very productive on the warehouse to meet the customer expectation. So how they try to manage those two factors, accuracy and productivity, they started moving from the regular paperwork to a device and screen interaction. So in the warehouse, instead, the previously, maybe a few years back, workers in the warehouse used to take the orders with the paperwork manually. They go around, move in the warehouse, pick each and every item and start doing their checklist on paperwork. But then came the second generation of those handheld devices, where they will have everything on a PDA, on a mobile computer, and they will start having the list of orders on this PDA, and they will start go around in the warehouse and pick each and every item they need to select in the warehouse. So this solved only one of the two problems. It solved only the accuracy problem. Because when you are using this mobile computer, you can scan the item, so verification happens in this process. So you are sure 100% that you are picking the correct item. So accuracy problem has changed. No more reverse logistics. No more items will be returned because the item is 100% accurate. But it didn't solve the second problem, which is the productivity problem. You need to be faster. The workers need to work very fast in the warehouse in order to meet the huge order requirements. So the main challenge in this mobile computer is that your hands are busy, your eyes are busy holding a mobile computer in your hands. Each and every time the worker needs to pick up anything from the warehouse, he needs to put the mobile away. He needs to pick up each item, the box he needs to carry in the warehouse, put it on his vehicle, and then taking again the mobile phone and going around to pick the second item. So Honeywell came with a more advanced solution. It's sort of a third generation solution for the warehouses, which is a voice solution, voice interaction. How does it work? The worker in the warehouse, he receives all what he used to receive on a mobile phone. Right now he received in his, as a voice command. He can just hear it, and he will go perform the task without need to use any mobile device. So we call it a hands-free, eyes-free approach. So the productivity is maximized. How can this work? First, the guided voice tell him go to a certain location, go to aisle number 2, for example, shelf number 5, and he can confirm back, okay. They tell him a specific location, 414. He can confirm back how the verification happens so that the item is accurate. He can verify, he can see the last few digits on the last 3 digits on the barcode. He can verify it back. The guide can tell him pick 2 items, for example, and so on. Like it's a machine interaction. It picks up the voice of the worker at the warehouse, and then he can go around. It's called the hands-free, eyes-free approach, where he will not use his hands at all. So the productivity can be increased twice. He will be 2 times faster than using the old approach of using a mobile computer inside the warehouse. I can play a quick video.
Start with container 83172.
Ready.
I42.
Ready.
0.
This is the lady working with the voice command, and this is the lady working with the screen.
22.
Click 1.
1.
00612.
92.
Click 1.
1.
00622. Click 1.
1.
Click incomplete.
So here we can see that the voice was twice faster as the other mobile computer solution. At the time when the lady was using, each time she has to pick up the mobile computer, do the scan, put it back, hold the boxes, put it on the vehicle. The other lady who was just using the voice command collected as twice items as the first lady did. How does the voice technology work? How does this technology work? Maybe you can compare it, think about it, how the Siri on the iPhones work. You can just do the command with the Siri on the iPhone. It will pick up your voice. But there is always one problem with the Siri, that not every time it picks your voice. So, for example, if we take the Turkish language as example, sometimes it can, maybe you can have different dialects or different accents. Siri is programmed to pick up only one dialect, only one accent. So if your accent is different a little bit from the accent of Siri, it will not identify your voice, because all the voice softwares that are for personal use are based on a technology which is called voice-independent software, which can be used with any person as a consumer. But how this voice solution works, it works with a technology that is called voice-dependent software. It identifies different accents, different dialects. It has the machine learning technology where you can train your voice on the solution, and then later on it will always identify your voice, your accent. So if you are used at home to say always for a no, like yes and no, if you want to say no in Turkish, you are used to say higher, then it will pick up higher. But what if someone else is used to say like yok at home? I hear it a lot, like with the, while I was here 2 days in Turkey, I hear a lot of people saying yok, yok, yok. They don't use the higher word. Then if you train the voice that it will say yok, it will know that yok means higher, yok means no. It's not like the commercial apps on the phones that will not identify the word yok, for example. So that's how it works. It identifies the accent, the voice with the machine learning technology. It improves the process inside the warehouse. You can do a lot of data analytics because all the processes you are doing using the voice technology in the warehouse can be later on integrated to show dashboards. You can identify where did any error happen. If it happened at a certain point, you can always track by those dashboards who are the best performers, workers, who are the slower workers. You can get to know a lot of information that is usually very hard to identify if you're not digitalizing your warehouse. Finally, I can talk about that it has faster technician training. What do I mean by faster technician training? As I mentioned at the beginning, like imagine a worker start his work in the warehouse, you train him about the different processes he needs to do at the warehouse, and then this worker quits with all the knowledge he has already learned. So with this solution, the training process is very fast because he doesn't need to go around and be trained about each and every corner in the warehouse. He will just put the headset. You will teach him in 10 minutes how this headset works. And then he will just follow the guide that will be in his same mother tongue language. Like if we are here talking about Turkey, then the guide will be in Turkish language. And he will just follow the guide, what is the guide telling him, and he will just go and perform the task step by step based on the guide, and will confirm whatever he is doing with the guide using his voice. So imagine in the peak seasons like New Year, Bayram, when the shopping is at the peak season and you need more and more workers in your warehouse, like part-time workers in your warehouse, then you will just be able to hire part-time workers, train them in 10 minutes on the system, and then later on they are not full-time workers anyway. They can leave when this high season ends. Okay, so now I can tell you a little bit about the Honeywell voice solutions, our existence, our presence. It's not a brand new solution. We are now having around 1 million end users worldwide. It's being used in the US and Europe for the past 15 years and across a lot of warehouses, distribution centers. It's also used in retail. It's used in maintenance and inspection. The same way he performs the tasks in case he needs to do a maintenance task, they can give him the activities of the maintenance also as a voice guided. It's currently working with very big customers like Lufthansa, for example. They do all their maintenance of the aircrafts using this voice technology. It's supported in different languages, around 35 languages. As I mentioned, if we are here in Turkey, it will be supported in Turkish. A lot of warehouses worldwide, a lot of retailers like Carrefour are using it. Okay, so going into more details about the Honeywell voice solutions, we have mainly two big pictures of the voice solution. The first solution is known as the VoCollect. It works with the high-end customer, huge customers, where they have a lot of number of workers in their warehouses. They must be using this sort of computer Talkman. As you saw in the video, the lady was having the Talkman. Maybe she can wear it on the waist, on the arm. She can fix it on the vehicle so that she can be hands-free. She can wear the headset and go to perform the task. And this equipment, it can be fully customized to any back end of the system. Like it works with big WMS systems like the Manhattan system and those SAP systems. It can connect. We do a lot of customization so that you have, this is not a WMS system. This is like something that works on top of the WMS system. Like if you already have your WMS system as an end user, then the end user just takes this voice solution to be placed on top of the WMS system so he can perform the tasks. The second solution is the guided work solution, which I would like to talk more and more about today. It's same voice solution, but it can work on any Android phone. You don't need anymore to buy the Talkman, which this Talkman doesn't come in a very moderate price. It's mainly for the high-tier customers, high-end customers. But the second solution can be more affordable. It's mainly designed for small and medium-sized warehouse environments, because you don't need to invest a lot in IT. You don't need to do a lot of investments in buying expensive Talkman and a lot of other tools and doing a lot of customization. No, this solution, you can work on any handheld. So for example, if the end customer has already invested and bought a lot of handheld devices, any brand, not only Honeywell, if they have Honeywell, Zebra, and they just told you we want to enable our warehouse with a voice solution, then what we will do, we can just have this application running on any Android device. As long as it supports Android 6, Android 7, then you can just install the voice solution as a voice application, and the customer will only need to invest in the headset, which is relatively not very expensive. So he will only need the software license, the slim headset, and then his warehouse will be voice enabled. So he will have the same advantages of the expensive voice solution, but now it comes in a relatively moderate price as long as he have the Android system. So the guided work solutions, which is voice for Android, it can be used in medium-sized warehouses where they have 5 to 40 workers. Again, of course, as it's a voice solution, it increases productivity, reduces the errors. And the good part about this solution is that in case the end customer is having the warehouse management system as SAP Business One or Microsoft Dynamics, then it can be seamlessly integrated. By seamlessly integrated, I mean that Honeywell globally, they did a global agreement with SAP and another global agreement with Microsoft to provide the back-end connectors between this voice solution and those two back-ends. So if the customer have a system that is running on Microsoft Dynamics as a back-end, this is sort of a plug-and-play thing for him, because the connector of the Microsoft Dynamics is already implemented. It's already there. It will be provided by Honeywell, and integration can happen very fast. And in few weeks, the end customer can have a voice-enabled warehouse. The question is this solution currently up and running? Yes, it's up and running with different customers across the globe. Here I'm sharing only one example of our customer. It's this Matilda Jane Clothes. It's a brand of clothes in the US for children. Their situation was that they have already invested in their warehouse management system. They had Microsoft Dynamics 365 running as their back end. And they have already invested in their handheld devices, in the mobile phones. So they don't have any time to, or any money to invest more in more equipment. So since they were already having Android phones working, they already have Microsoft Dynamics backend working. So simply we gave them the software as a monthly subscription. And in a few weeks, they're having a full voice-enabled warehouse, having all the advantages of the voice solution, but without paying any upfront cost. What they only paid was the cost of implementation, headset, and it's integrated in a few weeks, and they have a voice-enabled warehouse up and running without any capex or upfront costs. I think I'm done with my presentation. If anyone have questions about how the voice is working, about this solution, you feel free to ask me. Also, if you would like to have to see a live demo with the headsets, you can visit us upstairs in our Honeywell booth, so you can know more about the solution. But now I'm ready for any questions. Yeah, please.
Well, you said the system could recognize yoke and hire at the same time. How does it do that? From where does it read it? From a database or something?
The system recognizes what?
Yoke and hire.
Ah, okay, yoke and hire. I'm sorry, I'm not
just because of my accent.
Yeah, you said it in your Turkish way, maybe. Okay, so how it does this? At the very start, when the worker he only does this once in his life, not every day. The worker creates his own profile in order to start working, and this profile is saved on the back end. It's saved on the database, and how he trains the system on his own profile, he needs to have like a 15 minutes training just speaking to the phone, like the phone have certain words, so the phone will show you the word no or the word hire. So if the worker trains it that no, I will not say hire, I will say yoke, then the system will know that this profile of, what's your name?
My name is Humeira.
Humeira. Okay, so the system will know that if you are logging in with your profile of Humeira, then Humeira doesn't want to say no, she doesn't want to say hire, she will every time say yoke. So you train your system with whatever you need to tell him at the very beginning, like only one time in your life in order to create the profile. It takes 15 minutes of training the system about your voice, about your accent, about your dialect. So it's the same way like while you are creating any profile, usually you enter your name, maybe age, some information about yourself. So in this case with the voice, maybe you don't need to waste 5-10 minutes entering those information. You only need to sit there for 10 minutes, train your voice so that the system can identify your own voice, your own accent, your own words.
Okay. Thank you.
Welcome. Okay, any more questions? Yeah, please.
System requires fully covered Wi-Fi, or some point of the warehouse, for example, doesn't support Wi-Fi. How system communicate?
Okay, no, it doesn't need to be fully connected to the warehouse, because the system works between the headset and between the mobile phone. It works with Bluetooth technology, so it doesn't need Wi-Fi connection. And in case, like of course, if you need to synchronize between the mobile phone and your back end, it will just do the synchronization the moment it gets a Wi-Fi connection.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, any more questions from anyone? Okay, by this I can end my presentation, and everyone is more than welcome to visit our booth to have a live demo about the solution, and I can explain more about the solution. Thank you, everyone.